In this lecture, we're going to learn about material master data. The topics will be covering how we can create a new material, how we can create a new material by copying from another material, how we can change and display material. We'll also talk about the units of measure that we can maintain in the material master record, and also we'll see how we can extend a material from one plant to other plant, or from one sales organization to other sales organization. So let us first start with a business example. Your company sells and delivers various products to customers. You are a member of the project team that is implementing the sales and distribution processes in SAP. Before products can be sold, corresponding material master data or the records have to exist in the system. Therefore, you make yourself familiar with the relevant information about the material master data in SAP. So let us now start with material master data. So basically, when we talk about the material master data, if we talk about one material code in a company or one material code that we maintain in the system, the same code is used by different departments. For example, if we maintain a material, this will be used by not only the sales department but also material management, production planning, warehouse management, financial and costing people, and all that. So basically what we do is we maintain all the different data, all the different department data, you can say, within the same material code. Now from SD point of view, we'll be maintaining the data that is only relevant to us from the sales perspective, but there's a lot of other data that can be maintained within the same material master record. So here, if you look at this screen, here I have given some example of the different data that we can maintain. For example, one is called basic data. This data is relevant for all the, which is like a basic data, like a product name, product description, base unit of measure. So this is called basic data, which is relevant to all other areas or all other different departments. Then we got some sales specific data, which is relevant to the sales organization, which is linked to a sales organization or a distribution channel. Now sales data is relevant to the sales transaction. Then we got purchasing data, which is maintained at the plant level, which is used in the transaction, material management module. Then we got some other data like sales general plan that we'll discuss in a minute. But apart from this, there's so much data, other data that we can maintain. For example, warehouse management data, product costing data, financial accounting data, and production planning data within the same material code. Now this screen is showing you the data within a material master record which is relevant to sales. So from sales perspective, we have one data called, all the data is maintained in the different views. So that I'm going to show you in this lecture how we can maintain those views. So these views are, for example, basic data. Then we got sales org data 1 view. Then we got sales org data 2 view. So in every view, in every screen, you can say different types of data is maintained. For example, when we talk about basic data 1, we maintain the material number, material short text or the material description, base unit of measure, etc., which is common for all departments. Then we got sales org data 1 tab, where we maintain like stuff like what is the default delivering plant, material group, text classification, and all that. Then we also maintain sales org data 2, where we maintain other data like product hierarchy, bonus group, etc. Then we also have another tab which is relevant to the sales, which is called general plant data. Here we maintain availability check, loading group, transportation group, etc. Now what this means, availability check, transportation group, loading group, we'll talk in more detail in the next videos. Then we got foreign trade export data. Then we got sales text data, where we can maintain some text for that product. This is application manage product master data. If you want to manage, if you want to create or change or display the material on the S4 app, and we can also maintain the same using GUI using MM01 transaction. So I'm going to show you both how we can maintain in the system. So first I'm going to show you in GUI. So here, if you on the main home screen, if you go to the logistics and then go to sales and distribution, master data and material, and then go to others material, and then you can see MM01 here. So you can either double click on this one, or you can type here on the top command bar MM01, enter. So here system is asking me what give me the product code. Now again, product code can be generated automatically by the system. We can manually enter it. That depends on the customizing. But for now, I will create one product code. For now, I'll create, say, drum 50, for example. And then we need to select the industry sector, which is, I'll select mechanical engineering. Then select the material type. For example, it's a finished product, semi-finished product. But for our case, we'll be using finished products. And we can also copy from another material that I'm going to show you later. But for now, I'll just create from scratch. So now if I press enter, system is asking me what screen you want to maintain. So here, for example, basic data 1, basic data 2. So I'm selecting all the screen which we need to maintain in order for this material to work in the sales transaction. So here for now, just maintain the basic data 1, sales, all the 3 tabs for sales, sales org data 1, 2, and sales plan data. Also MRP data. Now there is a one called sales tax. We can also maintain that. Then we also need to maintain the MRP data, because if you want to use the codes in the transaction, then we might need this data so that we can create end-to-end transaction from order to cash. But this MRP data is only relevant to MM module. So here you can see accounting data 1, accounting data 2, accounting data, and costing data 1 and costing 2. Now I have selected my tabs. Now if you want the system to remember these tabs next time, you can click on this default setting. System will remember. If I click on this, system will remember the what I have selected. For example, if I close it, if I come back again later on, if I press enter, system will remember this. If you want to change the setting again, change whatever you want here. For example, unselect this or whatever, and then click on the default setting again. System will again remember the new setting. So for now, I will select this one and click on default setting. Then click on this checkbox. Here system is asking me give me the plant code where you want to maintain this data. So here I will select my plant that we have created, SD S4. From the search screen, that one, SD S4, and storage location that we created earlier, PROD. I'll select that. And sales organization also we created was SD S4, so I manually type in here, or you can search it as well. And distribution channel we created, it was 90. That's it. Once you select, click on this continue green tick box. So here there's a lot of data you can maintain, but here I'm only talk about the important and mandatory data that we need to maintain in order for this code to work in a transaction. So here give the description. What is the description of this product? I'll call it drum, say 50 liters, for example. And then you can see when I press enter, system is asking me to enter the base units for measure. Here you can click on this search box, and there's so many units of measure. You can select one of them, but here I will manually type each, EA for each. I press enter, jump to the basic data 2 tab, but let me go back. Here make sure you maintain the weight, because otherwise you'll get some issue in the sales order. So I'll select whatever weight you want to maintain, say 1.5 kg gross weight, say 1.4 volume, say 1.4, press enter. System is asking me volume unit, I'll say M3 meter cube. Done. If I go back again, you can see this weight data is maintained. Now I'll go back to I'll go to the basic data 2 tab. Here nothing is mandatory, I don't need to maintain anything. Then I'll go to the sales org data 1 tab here, which is sales relevant. Here if I press enter, system will jump to the screen where there's a mandatory data. So here you can see we need to enter the text data. It's asking me the text data. Now depending on the customizing done by the FI consultant, you will see your country here. So somebody in the customizing, some other user created so many entries for country IN, and there's one for US. All these are mandatory, but we can change this stuff in the customizing. So for now I will just select 0, which is taxable, 0 in each of them. Usually you have your own one country here in the real-time environment. Once you're done, press enter. You can see we have done all the entries here. And then you can jump to the sales org 2 tab. Here make sure you select item category group as norm. If it's not there already, make sure you select NORM norm. Now what that means is, I'll talk again in the next video in more details. What is the functionality of this item category, we'll talk later. And once you are done, nothing else is important. Make sure this is here you maintain one norm, and here also you maintain norm. Then jump to the general plan data. Here make sure you enter transportation group. I would advise you, again, what is the functionality of transportation group we'll discuss later on, but select the first one 0001, because if you select something else you may get some error in the sales order. So I'll discuss what that means later on. So let me go back to the screen here, and also maintain the loading group. I would advise, if you are new, then select the first one 0001 for now. Done. Now I'm in the sales text. Here you can enter some text, for example sales text. I can enter whatever text you want. I'll enter ZZZ. Then jump to the MRP 1 tab. Here you need to enter MRP type. So you can see there's so many MRP type, but for now you just select PD. PD is a standard one. And then you also need to maintain the lot sizing procedure. There's so many here. So I would say just select EX, first one. And also it's asking for MRP controller. Select first one, press enter. Then nothing is important here unless it is mandatory. Press enter again. There's a warning here. Anything you see with the yellow message, it's a warning saying what is the in-house production time. I'll just say 10 days. And then press enter again in the MRP 3 tab. Now we jump to MRP 4 tab. All good. Now here we don't need to maintain these tabs. Straight away I can click on this little corner here on the extreme right hand side, and I can jump to the accounting 1 and accounting 2. So I'll go to accounting 1, and here just leave as it is, don't change anything, everything is there. So make sure you have valuation class here. So select, if you can see in your system 7920, select that. If not, then whatever is there, select that. Press enter. Now it's asking me for the price. Give me some price of this code. So I'll just enter say $20 for example, and then jump to the accounting 2 tab. Nothing is important here. Then costing 1, nothing is important here. Press enter again. Go to costing tab, and nothing is again important here, and then we save it. So once we save it, drum 50 code is ready. So if you want to change it or display it, you can use mm02 to change it, mm03 to display it. So if I go to mm02, enter drum 50, press enter, you can see system remember all the selection that I have saved earlier. So just select continue. So this will save your time. So enter here. Also what you can do, for example, if I say let me select this one, I need to enter plant and all this data here in this screen. We can also make a default value here. So this is the value, for example, I want to use all the time. So I can make it default by clicking on default setting again. Select on default setting, system will remember. Next time if you change something, click on default setting again, system will again remember the new setting. So let me close it. Just want to show you again. Press enter, start again, press enter. You can see system remember my setting that I have just saved. So click continue. So here if you want to make some changes, you can make some changes. You can change some description. For example, I can put a dot here, and you can go through all these tabs. You can also click on this little corner here, and you can see all the tabs. You can jump to any tab. For example, I can jump to this tab. I can enter more text, for example, and I can save it. So that's how our product we can create in GUI. Also, it is quick to copy the material from another similar material. For example, if I go to MM01, if I need to create another one, say similar product, say drum 70 for example, and I'll select the industry sector as mechanical engineering, and this is as FERD. Just remember my last setting, and here I can copy from any of the old material. For example, if I start typing drum, it will show me all the drums maintained with the description drum. So I just created drum 50. I can select that. Now if I copy from this one, it will save my time. It will be very quick, because it will copy all the data that we have entered manually. Press enter, and you can see it remember all the default views. Press enter again. It remember on this side. Here you want to copy from which plant. So I'll say I want to copy from SD S4 plant, and store location is PROD, and sales organization is SD S4 again, and distribution channel is 90. If you want the system to remember the thing on the right hand side and left hand side both, again click on default setting. So next time it will remember. So continue. So now we have copied from 50 to 70. Here I'll change the description to 70, for example, 70 liters. And but what you need to make sure is you need to go through each tab in order for the system to save all the data maintained in each tab. If I save it now, it will only save basic data, not all the data, all the other tabs data. So here if I go to basic data 2, you can see everything is copied. This is also copied. Go to data 2, this, or you can keep pressing enter, same thing. Go to sales text, MRP1. So I'm pressing enter for now. So jumping to the other tab, accounting 1, accounting 2, costing 1 tab, costing 2 tab, and saying yes, you want to save it, I'll say yes. So that's how you can copy and save it. Now another thing here I want to show you, I'll show you in S4 system in a minute. We can also maintain different units of measure. For example, the base unit of measure can be each, but we can maintain like units of measure for carton, for pallets, or any other you can think of. So this is one thing we can do, and also I'll talk about how we can extend a material to other plant. So first let's talk about, if I go back to my code, go to mm02 /n mm02, I'll just open my drum 50 code, press enter. Now here if you go to the additional data on the top, you can see, click on additional data tab, and then click on units of measure tab here. Here we can maintain different units of measure. For example, I can say, okay, I want to maintain, say, carton. So here you can select search for carton. It's called CAR. Here it is CAR, and I can say 1 carton is equal to 4. So in 1 carton we can fix 4 of the drums. Same way you can maintain more. For example, if I say pallet, PAL is for pallet, you can also search here, press enter, and I can say 1 pallet is equal to, say, 12 of each. So this way you can maintain as many as you want. And the thing about the good thing about this one is we can, for example, we have the basic unit of measure as each, which is used in our company, but we can maintain the sales unit as pallet or carton. So what that means is, let me go back here, click on the main data, if you want to go back to the previous screen. Here if you go to the sales org data 1, here you can see sales unit. Here I can maintain that, okay, my sales unit is pallet, because we already maintain the pallet units of measure. If I save it, so whenever a sales order is created, system will by default the unit of measure as pallet. Let me show you quickly. If I go to the order transaction VS01, here I'll enter order type OR. I'll talk more about the creation of order in the next video, but quickly I want to show you how this one will work. And use the sales organization, distribution channel, division, press enter. Here I'll enter search for my sold to party. I created John Smith before. I'll select that, enter. Just enter a PO number, test 1, 2 for example. Here if I use this material, I'll say drum 50. If I press enter, and here you can see it's asking for quantity. Here you can see units of measure by default is pallet, because that's it. That is what we have maintained over there as a sales unit. If we do not maintain it over there, it will default to the basic unit of measure, which is each. Here I'll say for example 1 pallet is the order. So if I double click on this, if we select this line and click on or double click on this one, number 10, I can go to the detail of this screen, and here you can see 1 pallet means 12 each. That is what coming from the material master data. So that's how we can create a different sales unit which is not same as the basic unit of measure. So that's very useful. And also we can extend a material, the same material to the other sales organization or plant as well. For example, if I go to MM, you need to use MM01 again if you want to extend it. If you want to extend it, for example, enter the same code, and let me remove this one, and for example I press enter and again enter. Now we want to extend it. We already extended to the, we already created for this view. If I try to create it again, system will throw me an error that this is already maintained. So we want to maintain it for a different plant, for example. So let me select something else, say 1710, and storage location can be something else. Say 171A, which is maintained the customizing, and sales org, I'll select something else, say 1710, and distribution channel 10. So I can also maintain the same code for a different plant and different sales org, or I have the option to not to maintain for this plant but only create it for this sales org. So let me show you only to create this sales org. If I press enter, it's going through the same screens. Press enter, press enter, press enter, and now in the last screen I'll save it because I don't want to maintain for the other plant. So if I open this material again, MM02, here you will, if I search for plant, it's also only maintained for one plant, but if I search for sales org, you will see it's maintained for 2 different sales org. So so I can have more than one sales org here. I can maintain another one. There is no limit. You can maintain for any number of sales org, and also you can maintain for any number of plants as well. So that's how we maintain it in this system. Now I'm going to show you the same thing in S4. Here you can see there's a file group. If you go to the group called product master, this one, if I select that, this is the manage product master data, is the application to create, display, change everything. You can also jump to find this via this tile group, or you can click on this search box, and then here I can type, say product, just type product, and system will show you all the apps with this product as a description. So that's the one. You can click on this one as well. So let me cancel that and click on this manage product master data. Here you can search if I click on go, it will show me all the data that is maintained in this system. Or I can also search for, say, drum. If I say just drum, it's saying which drum, I'll say drum 50, and I can click on go, and that's the code we just created. And same thing we can do here. If you want to create it, I'll click on create and select product. Now I'll create product. It's asking what is the product number. I'll say drum, I'll call it 80 for now. It's asking for base unit of measure. I'll say each. Product type, I'll say this is a finished product, and there's nothing else mandatory. We're just entering the mandatory data, and that's another. You can see any field with this little red star is mandatory. Here I'll say drum 80 liters, and once you're done, say OK. So this is basically the basic data, and then we enter other data. So I'll again go through all the important data that we need to maintain. So I'll scroll down. You can either scroll down or click on any of these tabs to jump to that tab straight away. So the next thing we need to do is we need to maintain distribution chain. This is distribution chain. I can click on distribution chain. Here we need to maintain. So distribution chain means the sales org data. Here you can see there is no entry here because we haven't created anything here yet. So click on create icon. It will open a new screen for you. Here you can see the mandatory field, which is sales organization. I'll manually enter SD S4, and distribution channel is 90. Done. Here you can also see sales unit. So I can say, for example, sales unit can be carton. We'll maintain the carton in a minute, but here you can maintain the default sales unit. And scroll down. If there is any minimum order delivery quantity you want to maintain, so for example, we want to deliver minimum, say 10 quantity. And minimum order quantity is again like they can't order less than this. For example, they can't order less than 5. So when somebody will create the order, sales order, they will create an error or message that if they enter less quantity than 5 when they creating the order. Same thing when someone is creating the delivery document, if it is less than 10, they will get the error or message. And then we can scroll down and we'll look for anything other mandatory data. Here you can see item category group. As I said before, NORM is the item category group you need to select for now. I'll discuss again later on what that means. And this is the text classification, like we earlier entered 0. So we need to enter 0 here. We need to enter again. This is a mandatory field. So 0 means it's trying to process it. Let me go back again. It was freezing. So if I come back here, so here I'll click on the search box, and here I'll say taxable under GST. So just enter 000 for now. 0 again. Scroll down, and these are the important data that we need to maintain. And once you are done, then click on apply. So now you can see, if I go now you can see we are back to the main screen. Here if I click on this little arrow, and I can jump to the distribution chain. Here we are. So we have maintained this data. We can also maintain a default delivering plant if we want. For example, we can say, okay, do we want for this product to be delivered from this plant? That's a default plant that will be popped up in the sales order. So now we can also maintain the plant specific data. Click on create, and it will open a new screen which is specific for plant. Here I'll enter my plant. You can search from here. Or you can manually type as well. So I'll select SD S4 is my plant. Then scroll down and enter all the mandatory data like MRP type, etc. Here we are. Let me go up first. Yeah, here it is. MRP type. I can select this search box, select your MRP type, or you can manually type here like PD. Then MRP controller is also mandatory. I'll select one value from here, and then I can scroll down. I can also enter lot sizing procedure. Select one value from here, EX, scroll down and look for any other mandatory data. Looks good. Once you're done, click on apply button. So like we have created data for one plant, same way I can click on create again and create a data for another plant. We can do it now, we can do it later after saving. Same way we can create valuation area, accounting data and all that. So I can now, for now, I can click on save. If I click on, you can also click on this check icon. If there's something missing, when I click on check icon, something missing, system will tell me. You can see there's one message on the left hand side bottom. If I click on it, it's saying maintain the conversion factor for alternative. Okay, we maintain the default sales unit of measure as carton. So we need to go to the basic data one tab again. So I'll go to that. Here we are, and then you can click on this and click the units of measure. Here I can maintain different units of measure. For I can click on create, and then there's another screen here, so I can maintain, say unit of measure is carton, CAR, and I can say one carton is equal to, for example, 10 each. So you can see here one carton is equal to 10 each. I can apply, it will go back. So you can see I got, if I go back to this screen again, unit of measure, I got each, and carton is one we created. We can create another one same way. I can click on create again, and I can say now I want to maintain pallet. PAL is for pallet. That's a pallet. So I can say one pallet is equal to, say, 72 each. So here you can see one pallet is equal to 72 each. So I can say apply, and once you're done, you can again click on this check icon and make sure everything is good. Or even if there's something missing, when you click on, it's just showing me this screen, but I think it's trying to show me that that it can be duplicate material, because it's trying to think that there's some other material with a similar description. So I'll just close it. So even if you save it, if there's something mandatory you miss, that system will show you the message. So for now I will click on save icon on the bottom right hand side, and system is trying to save it. It's done. I can go back and if I search for my material, or I can search by description, say drum, enter. It's looking for exact description, I guess. So let me enter here product code as drum, says drum 80. Pick any drum, any code, and when you open it, and here is your product. So same way you can go to any tab, change any data. For example, if I want to go to this one, units of measure, so there's a units of measure here. You can change it. If you want to change it, make sure you need to click on this. Let me open it again. By default it will be showing in the display mode. If you want to change it, you need to click on this edit icon. You click on this edit icon, then it will allow you to change. Like now it's in the change mode. Let me go back again. And if you want to copy this, you can either select here in the search box, and for some reason this copy button is not it's grayed out. Or what I can do is I can open this code, and you can, let me cancel this. Now you can see when in the display mode, it will show you a copy icon here on the top. If I click on copy, it's saying, do you want to copy plant and distribution chain? I'll say yes, or you can untick or tick, whatever you want. For now I'll leave it like that. I'll say okay, and then it's asking me, it's trying to copy all the data, but asking me what is the new product ID. I'll say drum 81, for example, 81 liter. You can see it already copied the unit of measure, product type, etc., and also the description it copied. So I'll just change the description as well, and if I say okay, it will copy everything that we have maintained before, and all we need to do is to just save it now, or make any change if you want, whatever change you want to do. For example, if I go to the distribution chain, you can see it copy the distribution chain data. You can see SDS4. If I scroll down, you can also see, or scroll up, sorry, here we got the distribution chain, and just below that we got the plant data. So everything is copied. You can click on this, for example, plant data, and you can see here all the data is also copied, and you can make any changes if you want. Otherwise we can go back and save it. So that's how we can create a new code using the Fury app or the GUI. So it's saying that there can be potential duplicate because there's some matching description. So just ignore it and click on save, and the data is saved. So that's all about this. So in this video we'll learn about how we can create a material, how we can create a material by copying, how we can change and how we can display a material, how we can maintain the different units of measure in the material master, and how we can maintain the default value for sales units, and how we can also extend a material to a different sales org or different plant. So that's all about this. Thank you very much. We'll catch up in the next video.